we are going to measure for an outside mount Grande Shade. So what you want to do on this is take your measurement from your inside of what your actual opening is that you're trying to cover. So you'll take your inside mount, just like that, which is 66. So once you find your actual opening width, what you want to do is add a minimum of 5.5 inches. Reason for that being is that you will have a 2.5 inch overlap on either side. So there's 2.5 right there, so in theory your fabric would drop down right here, would overlap your wall, and the same exact thing on your opposite side. So if you have a Grande crank shade with cables and you do your 5.5 overall, your cable is gonna sit somewhere in that area right there. So again, keeping your overlap here, and this is your Grande crank shade with cables, or your Grande crank shade with box and cables, is both gonna fall in the same area. Now, if you have a Grande shade with a track system, it's gonna fall somewhere in that area right there. So when you add your 5.5 inches to your overall opening, this is what you're accounting for right here, is your track system, which is 2.5 inches in width. You've taken your inside mount, your inside measurement, which was 66 from your left to right, and you're going to add in your minimum of 5.5. So you just do some quick math. So your overall with your 5.5 added in is 71.5. So that's your new overall measurement for your outside mount of a Grande shade with crank and housing with tracks or cables. So now we're going to talk about obstructions when measuring for your outside mount. So this would be an obstruction versus a nice flat surface like you see here on this wall. So when you have an obstruction in your way, you're only going to be able to do your minimum of 5.5 inches of overlap. If this obstruction was not in the way, you'd be able to go as far as you'd like, as long as you had a nice flat surface with nothing in the way of your track or cable system. And now that you found your outside measurement of your overall width, then you want to do your height. So starting from the bottom of your opening right here, you start your tape measure there, which is 101.5 is your opening on this particular setup. You will write down 101 1/2.